What up, brawlers? Welcome back to Throwin Hands. It's me, it's Jarrett. Jarrett, we're just gonna hop right into this because there's bigger things to talk about, but we're gonna look at this card real quick. There's some very important performances that I believe we have to talk about, but then we'll get into the juicy stuff in just a few minutes. Umar Nurmagomedov's different. I don't think anyone will disagree with me on that. Raoni Barcelos, I mean, I'm not saying he's hyped, but people have a lot of respect for Barcelos. But dude, Nurmagomedov's just on a different level. And, if people don't want to fight him, which I get, I think they just need to boost him up to a title shot.
Yeah,
Well,
why not?
in that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, where do you go from here? You gotta keep climbing the ladder, and Barcelos isn't ranked, but it was still a commanding win. I thought he was feeling him out for a little bit, and then just that knockout came out of nowhere. Kind of knee slash kick to the body, and then a little left hook right out of nowhere. It was beautiful.
Yeah, a very short left hook too. So kudos to that guy, man. Ketlin Vieira versus Kyle Pennington. Personally, I thought Vieira won the fight, but maybe it's a little karma for what the judges did last time, robbing home, but I don't know. I don't believe in karma too much. Well, I do actually, but in fighting I really don't. But this, I wouldn't say it's a robbery, but I thought Ketlin Vieira won. It wasn't like Jared Gordon, Patty.
Yeah, it was a close one, man. It was definitely a toss up. Weren't too many, you know, like there was no knockdowns, right? It
I
was
don't
just,
think so.
yeah, it was pretty boring, but it was had him on the ropes. It was a toss up.
Yeah, and then Rocky tried to do two takedowns, and then there's control on the fence, but yeah, it wasn't a great fight.
It was something.
It was something exactly. Punahele Soriano versus Roman Kopilov. Kopilov had a rough start to his UFC tenure, but he's really kind of turned it on
Yeah,
as of late. He worked the body hard on Soriano, man. I don't think Kopilov is going to be a champ by any means, but he presents a lot of guys a lot of problems with his striking.
definitely put his name in there in the mix. What they said, he changed camps. He's under a new camp. Feels like he's at home and comfortable. And that makes a huge difference for the mental aspect of an athlete. So it showed here. He had a great performance, and it's only up from here for Roman.
Definitely. Look at the prelims. Oh, Abdul Razak Al Hassan punches hard. I don't think that's a secret. I just wanted to put that out there. 50K Ige, man. Rough first. It was a pretty even first round, but that I saw that hook was there. I'm like, if Ige sees that, he wins the fight, and boom, check left hook out cold. Damon Jackson. I'm just glad Ige's back on the winning side, man. First one in about 2 years. He's really good. And I think he can make some headway in this absolutely stacked featherweight division. And I think Bryce Mitchell's the fight to make in that regard.
Well, that'd be a good one. Yeah, yeah.
Sean Strickland versus Nasruddin Imavov. Dude, I think you and I both said Strickland was gonna lose. But shout
Yeah,
out to this dude coming in on like 4 days' notice to fight Nasruddin Imavov. Dude, that was I wasn't blown away by the performance, but like the dude went in there and he got the dub. And that's all and you and I were like, what's the point of taking this fight? It's a risky fight. And he did it, he's back on the winning side. I gotta give it to Mr. Strickland.
it's crazy. He did exactly what he needed to do. Kept kept his volume up. It mixed in the wrestling a little bit. Like just something that I was not expecting. I don't think a lot of people were expecting. It was. I know the odds said they were even, but I think fan vote on Tapology was hard one way for Imavov. But Sean went out there and did exactly what he needed to do. It was some
Yeah,
good.
he definitely won 3 of those rounds, eked out. You could argue 48, 47, 49, 46, or 50, 45. Either way, shout out to Sean Strickland. But Jarrett, we have bigger and better things to talk about as of right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you paid any attention to Twitter on Saturday, you would know that some guy from T-Mobile Arena screwed up pretty badly and accidentally leaked Jones versus Gane on the screen. And then, I think the UFC was like, I think Bronstetter or something said, hey, it's not a done deal yet, but why would you make a poster if it's not a done deal?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, UFC got it done. Jones is coming back, and we'll get to Ngannou in a second, but this is the fight I've always wanted, so I was very excited. But what's your thoughts on this,
I
man?
think this is one where a month ago, we were talking like this is one that we thought should happen first before Jones versus Ngannou. Like, don't throw Jones right into the title fight when there's guys like gone in the heavyweight division, you know? So, I mean, personally, I'm happy with it. It's frustrating that we most likely won't get Francis versus John, but it's whatever. Take what you can get. I'm excited to see Johnny Bones fight again. So it's a lot to look forward to.
I am too, and there's people on Twitter and stuff. They're like, John Jones toward the end of his light heavyweight run, he wasn't wrestling well. He wasn't doing this. I'm like, do you realize he fought Thiago Santos kickboxing just because he wanted to challenge himself? I'm pretty sure he's like, yeah, I want to see if I could stand and bang with Thiago Santos, and I did, and I won. Like,
Yeah,
no one does that.
he's a freak.
He is a freak, and I think I think like once you get to 12 title defenses, you get complacent and just bored. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say kind of bored.
if you look at whom he fought at the beginning of his light heavyweight career, Hua, Machida, Teixeira, Rampage, Evans, all those guys, DC, they don't really compare to a Dominic Reyes or an Anthony Smith or Thiago Santos. Like, no, there's no motivation compared to I get to beat one of the most legendary light heavyweights of all time, Machida or Hua. So
Yeah.
I think that's the difference, man. I think John Jones realizes like, hey, you know what? I don't have any title defenses anymore in this division, and I think it's time for me to stake my claim.
Yeah,
I can't wait. March 4th can't come soon enough.
I agree. That's definitely what I'm looking forward to the most. Well, I mean, we got some good fights up until then to
Yeah,
keep us occupied.
keep us satisfied.
Yeah.
Then we look at Dana White said he they offered Ngannou money to make him the highest paid heavyweight of all time, but it just didn't work out. And someone asked in the press conference, "What about boxing?" Dana was like, "No, boxing." And some people complain like, you know what, it's kind of unfair. They should let him do boxing. If you look at it from the UFC's perspective, you don't want him to go and do boxing here and there because he gets less fights in a year, less time to draw people into the seats, and he could get hurt.
Yeah.
So it's not worth his time to it's not worth not well, it's worth Ngannou's time to leave. I agree. If that's what he wants to do, get the big bucks in boxing, go box Deontay Wilder. I'll take my money. But if you I get the UFC's perspective, and sometimes I think people just don't get that. You have to think about this is what you need. This is your product that you'd be risking. So that's how I look at it.
And you brought up a good point last episode. You were like, this is a lot of fans don't understand that business aspect until they follow the UFC for a while. And like, to a point, I don't understand it as much as what you do after following it for so long. It's just not being able to take those risks, when yes, Francis was putting butts in the stands, but not necessarily at an alarming rate that they can put up so much money to keep him there. It's
like
ultimately
sorry.
Francis was going to do whatever he wanted to do anyway. So
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at the last pay-per-view numbers for Gane versus Ngannou. Someone said 200,000, but I'm not. That's very low. I'm not certain. Buy rate, pay-per-view buys. There we go. It's just, yeah. There's no numbers. Someone said 200,000. That'd be hard to believe. So I'd predict 400,000. But the point still stands. Like, you can't risk, your product getting hurt boxing.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. Odds are we'll never see Ngannou and Jones. That's okay. And speaking of, potential next matchups, Stipe wants the winner in April. I mean, not April, July, something like that. People aren't happy about it, but here's my thing. If John Jones, the greatest light heavyweight, can take 3 years off and wait for the heavyweight championship, I think Stipe can take a little over 2 years in being the greatest in his own division that the spell is being fought in and step in and fight. No one else has separated themselves from the pack, in my opinion, because you got, Curtis Blades is probably going to fight Pavlovich or Tuivasa, something like that.
Yeah, Pavlovich versus Blades is the next one. And I don't know if the UFC goes that route or the Stipe route with who they're going to give that title shot to next. But
I think they have to go the Stipe route for me, man.
I agree.
He'd be 41 at the time of the fight, I think.
Yeah.
So you can't, just give him the last shot, in my opinion. He'd be 40, but damn close to 41. But heavyweight's exciting again. I'll say that. All this stuff held up the division for over a year, and we finally get a champion who's hopefully going to stay active. And Jones, according to his new agent / manager, is now like the highest paid heavyweight, I'm pretty sure. So, 8-fight deal. He's not going to fight 8 more times. Don't count on that. Right. But if he does, but it's so exciting. But we also have some other fun matchups that came up this weekend. Fiziev versus Gaethje. Banger. I think that's confirmed for London. But man, that is a really good fight. What do you think?
That's going to be a great one. Really excited for that one. I got a lot to look forward to on that card. And then, on that London card, Edwards versus Usman got confirmed.
Yes, that got confirmed too. Usman had a hand injury. If you saw videos, there was a cast on his hand, but I guess he'll be good. So
yeah,
that's cool to me. KSI knocked out Face Temper. Who would have thought? YouTube boxing's a joke. Don't watch it. Just wait for the highlights because they're not going to do anything about it. Oh, actually, do wait for the highlights. I want to shout out DAZN real quick because I wanted to look at and just see what happened. They post actual highlights after each fight, after each bout. So if you like boxing, DAZN's your spot. Like, they released, who was it? Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders highlights like a day later, like legit highlights. What do you know? Man, this is an exciting time for MMA. I'm beyond excited for what's to come, especially when it comes to, the events. John Jones, he's back in the saddle, man. And it's up to him to prove his point. Here's a question. If he wins, I already think it's undisputed. But if he wins, you can't deny that he's the best to ever step foot in that octagon.
Absolutely. I think both me and you, I think we both agree that he is right now. I think. But if he wins a heavyweight title on top of all he's done in the past, you can't argue it, But,
yeah. I wonder what DC will think if John Jones wins.
Yeah.
Gosh. Oh, he's so good, man.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see it. And he's working with Cejudo too, man.
Yeah.
There's a reason, forget the cringe. Put that aside. That's the point. If he makes you cringe, he did his job. But there's a reason why Zhang Weili, Davison Figueiredo, and other fighters have all flocked to Henry Cejudo, and that Zhang Weili has gotten so much better. And why Davis Figueiredo came in on a good weight cut his last fight against Brandon Moreno and looked a lot better. It's because Henry Cejudo is that dude. And if you got, John Jones kind of got exiled from Winklejohn. I get that. After his incident in Las Vegas, I understand. But dude, two of the best highest IQ guys in the world when it comes to fighting in one gym. I don't know. And John Jones wants Henry to corner him. So, dude, I think all the cards favor John Jones' way. There's ring rust, but with John Jones's IQ, I can't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't think that's a real factor. That's just, I'm so excited for that fight, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. One more thing. People were complaining that Jones was like the first name on the billing for the card, like Jones versus Gane. It should be Gane. I'm like, hold on, dude. This is the best man to ever step foot in the octagon. If John Jones wants to be first on the billing, he's gonna be first on the billing. Stop it.
People were like him opening as an underdog, which I get that. I think he's opening as an underdog, so people are gonna eventually by the time the fight comes, he'll be the favorite after bets start evening out and stuff. But he opens as an underdog against Gane. Like, people just forget, man.
People forget. And yes, I understand that Dominic Reyes fight wasn't the greatest. I think he won. I don't think there's much debate. 3-4-5 to Jones. However, he was playing with his food. I truly believe that he only started to wrestle when he had to wrestle. Oh, you could, in his mind, he probably went, But anyway, that's really all we got. Short episode. Izzy got a tattoo on his face. I don't know if you saw that. Go check it out.
Let's see what it is.
Yeah, I believe it's in Arabic, and it translates to the whole version of you must die before you come alive. Little rebirth for Izzy after the loss against Pereira. Maybe it works. We'll see what happens. But anyway, I think that'll be it. We'll definitely preview this week's pay-per-view 283 Teixeira versus Hill. Fun fight. But Jarrett, do you have anything else to add?
No, I think I'm all good. Happy to look forward to the future. It's a good time to be a UFC fan.
Yeah, there isn't much more of a better time to be a UFC fan than right now. With all, everything going on, Francis leaving, is it a shame? Absolutely. I would love to keep Francis, but Jones versus Gane isn't that much worse. And I don't even think it is worse. I think it's the best option, in my opinion. Oh, most technical heavyweight fight of all time. Last thing, for sure. Most technical heavyweight fight of all time. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely, guys. All right. That'll do it for this episode of Throwin Hands. You can catch us Friday for the preview of fight of UFC 283. Teixeira versus Hill. Peace out, y'all.